I'm Barry Funkhauser. It's Taco Tuesday, and you're listening to the Barry Funkhauser Show. Here's what's going on. Well, LA's 6th District residents are expressing concerns ahead of the special election that's about to happen. The Writers Guild of America is moving forward with a strike vote. And is AI tech the future of travel? Let's find out. With me, as always, is my co-host and general know-it-all current events guy, Joe. Hey, Joe, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, I hope AI technology isn't the future of travel. I like making road trips, you know? That's fun for me, so I don't want someone taking that.
This will surprise you.
Oh, well, does anything really surprise me anymore? I don't know. We'll see.
It's not what you expect.
We'll see. Hey, have you been surviving this wind that we've been having? It's kind of crazy.
You know what? Up here, man, surprisingly enough, it's not too bad. We haven't been having a bunch of bursts of gusts or anything. I'm just trying to dry off here. Everything's still soaked to a bone.
Oh yeah, it's we've been getting like gusts of like 35 miles an hour down here. It's the run this morning was not enjoyable.
Oh, dude, did you see that tree that fell over? Did you run by the tree that fell over in Sherm? Did you hear about the tree?
Oh, no. Is there a tree that fell over in Sherman Oaks?
It's all over the news, man. There's a big giant tree. You know
what happened at?
It's in Sherm, somewhere in Sherm.
Tree. I'm just going to type in Sherman Oaks tree and see what happens.
It's probably going to come up because they're covering it.
Oh, tree falls onto a Sherman Oaks apartment complex?
Yeah. It's like one of those trees that's in like the middle of a U-shaped complex, and it just went timber.
Oh man, that's like this is like 2 blocks away from my house. It's right next to Notre Dame High.
Yeah, so I was going to say.
Oh wow, on Sunny Slope. Yeah, wow.
Next time you're out for a run, whip on by there, man.
That sucks.
Yeah, can you imagine just sitting there on your computer there in your apartment?
And then crash.
And then you hear a little sound. What's that?
A little sound? It was probably a big old sound. Yikes.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm glad my apartment is still here, so.
Just take note of the tall trees around where you live. Just take note of them. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get into the news.
Noted?
Yeah.
Like, what did you want me to say? Noted? All right, fine.
Just in case. Because then when you hear a loud noise, then you're like, oh, that tree, here it comes. Brace yourself.
Have you ever actually seen a tree like break in half and fall down? Have you ever heard a tree snap?
No.
Okay. It's like a shotgun blast. It's that loud.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really loud. So I'm sure that if one of these big trees, gets knocked over in the wind, especially if it snaps like mid-root, like I'll be able to hear it.
And I'll tell you, man, all this rain we've had, I'm sure this isn't the last tree that's fallen. I mean, I go outside on my fruit skis out there, give them a little shake, and I can probably pull the whole thing up. I could topple these fruit trees very easily because of the saturation of the ground.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the ground here is not used to this much rain, so it doesn't know what to really do and how to hold itself together right now. So
yeah, I've been having fun pulling up things that were really difficult once before. It's like,
and now you're just like 2 fingers, like,
yeah. See you later, ugly bush.
Well, you know what? It's going to make landscaping your backyard a whole lot easier, I think.
Oh, wait till you see it. You say that now.
Oh, great.
Be fun.
All right. Well, all right. I don't want to hear the horror story. Let's get into the news instead.
Well, there was a special election held today in LA City Council's 6th District. It's the one that's replacing former Council President Nury Martinez, the one that got in trouble. Here, listen.
A pair of pants, a backpack, a grocery cart filled with junk, a woman and child walking through a homeless encampment. This is the kind of blight many people see in Council District 6.
They're breaking into a lot of cars. There's a lot of illegal activity going on.
The clock is ticking. Tomorrow's the day.
Sarah Steffen recently held a Get Out the Vote meeting at her Van Nuys home, which is in Council District 6. She says the issues she wants the council candidates to prioritize are things like transportation, the cost of housing, the cost of living, But homelessness and the RVs on the side of the roads?
It should be one of the higher issues. I feel like a lot of people are touched by this issue in particular because it does affect walkability of neighborhoods.
And then there's crime. She had a bicycle stolen from her garage.
There is one RV encampment that is under the 405 overpass that has a lot of bikes in it, and I had my bike stolen somewhat recently.
She doesn't know if her bike is there, but she and Billy Serta know there is crime associated among some who are living on the streets. The 7 people that are running on the ballot are Marissa Alcarez, Rose Gregorian, Isaac Kim, Imelda Padilla, Antoinette Scully, Douglas Sierra, Marco Santana. And on homelessness and RVs on the side of streets, if any of the candidates are watching right now, what do you as a voter want to say to them?
I would say to them, we're all aware of the problem. Awareness of the problem is not enough. Being actually compelled to finding permanent solutions.
You need to fix it because it's getting out of control.
Now, usually I wouldn't cover such a hyper-local story, like they're calling it District 6, but it's Van Nuys. You know, it's like the dirtiest part of Van Nuys. And do you remember this story, Joe, a couple months ago where the city council member was got recorded? They all got recorded trying to kind of rig the election or saying what they would do and how they would help each other or something. And she used a bunch of slanderous words, and they kicked her out of the council. And then there was like pandemonium for a couple of months, and then it kind of got quiet. Well, this is the end of it, I guess. Now they're starting to try to find somebody to replace her. And there's big problems there, man. I mean, not too far from where you live, not too far from where my sweetie lives. And, you know, I don't know if you hear about it every night. I don't know if you're on that neighborhood app, but you sure do hear a lot of death, destruction, and crime in that area.
Oh, sir. I mean, I do remember the council people having their backroom deal that was recorded, and it came out that the fallout's still happening because some of those council members did not resign. And so now every time they have a council meeting, people just basically protest the entire meeting. So nothing is getting done. It's so dumb. This is a tough one because I mean, I don't understand. Do people understand how politics actually work? Like that these backdoor deals and stuff like this happen all the time, and there has to be give and take. It's one of the
there
things,
was more to it. There was a lot.
I know that there was more to it. It's like the one person calling, I think it was Paul Krikorian's adopted son a thug. Okay, so he a little background. One of the council members is a white man who had adopted a black son. I don't know. I don't know what the entire family situation is. All I know is that this white man adopted this black kid, right? And these other council members were saying that he was, that he was a thug and stuff like that. That's where all the racism talk came out. And it wasn't good because, man, you can't. I don't care how much you might dislike another person. You got to keep their kids out of it. Like, especially because this kid didn't do anything. This kid was just literally existing. And these people started making fun of him. Come on, you're adults.
These council members did that.
These council members, like these are people who are trying to lead Los Angeles City, and you're making fun of kids. I mean, come on, that is some weak tea, man. Like, you guys are adults. You have like all the power in the world, and you're making fun of like one of your council member co-council members' kids. Like, that's just dumb. But I mean, as far as the 6th district goes, they have homelessness, but all the districts have homelessness issues. It does need to be addressed. Everybody in Los Angeles knows we have a problem. Everybody. We don't need to talk about the problem anymore. We need to find an actual solution. And that comes with a couple things. We gotta get rid of NIMBYism. This whole not in my backyard stuff is just stupid. We need to have people in different socioeconomic situations all over our city. You got to distribute that to different neighborhoods all over the city, and especially because these are people who are in our service jobs. I am tired of having all of our service people have to drive from like 100 miles away in like Riverside County just to come out here so they can work at the McDonald's for you because they can't afford rent anywhere in Los Angeles. And that's dumb. I don't like that at all. And so we gotta figure out some taking down some red tape and some regulations so we can change some zoning, so we can get some housing built. But that's a whole other issue because then you gotta like incentivize the constructor to like actually build the housing because low-income housing doesn't return anything for them and it's blah 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 blah. So I am not a social engineer. I don't know how to build cities and what's the best recourse for all this situation. All I know is that everybody in LA is pissed. Everybody's pissed about the homelessness. The homeless are pissed because they're homeless. Everybody else is pissed because we can't like walk around our neighborhoods and feel safe because the homeless people are like pretty aggressive because they are in survival mode and they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about themselves trying to figure out where they're going to get their next meal. So, at that point, like I can't fault them, but I want to be able to walk around and feel safe in my city. All these homeowners are pissed because all the homelessness is driving down their property values, so it's a big problem. And we've been talking about it for literally 20 years and haven't done anything. So can we actually just do something, please?
Joe, you said you're not a civil engineer, but I just started playing.
Civil engineer. I said social engineer. Thank you. Civil engineer. That's the term I was looking for.
I started playing The Sims 4, so I am learning. I'll let you know. I'll come up with something. I'll figure it out.
You're an unofficial civil engineer now because of your Sims play?
I think I'm more of a social engineer on Sims than a civil, but yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I'll let you know. I've already spent way too many hours building a character and walking around and doing stuff like reading books and sleeping. Boy,
nice.
gaming.
Oh yeah, sleeping in your video game. That sounds like a whole
great game. Oh, you can. It's like you have an apartment. Look at that.
I know. I get it. Well, whoever's gonna win, the vote's over. Their talent stuff. We don't have a winner yet, but I think whoever's gonna come out of 6th District, looking at the exit polls, people said that homelessness and crime were two of their top concerns. Woo, that does not bode well because, liberals went way too far on the other end of the spectrum from, going away from crime. And the backlash is here and it's coming. So everybody is concerned about crime and homelessness. And if you are a politician on either side, the left or the right, if you're not talking about that, you're going to lose.
And you know what, man? Let's clean up the 6th District. It's like a beautiful part of town if you just remove.
Oh, it dirt. Used to be.
Yeah, you got to remove the dirt in your mind.
And it could be again because isn't 6th District? Actually,
they got neon signs and stuff from the 60s that's still kind of there, and
they got Balboa Park.
You got a lot of cool stuff, man.
I mean, they got the. Oh, it looks like they even have the. Wait, is that Hudson Dam? No, Hudson Dam is a little further up. There's some cool stuff in District 6. The plants over there. That was where the old was it the old Boeing plant or the GM plant? Now it's like a big shopping center and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some good stuff there's some good stuff in 6th District. I mean, if you clean it up, I think you could revitalize that entire area.
Agree. Let's get it done. Get her done, voters, man. Vote yes. All right, more news tonight on the Barry Funkhauser Show. The Writers Guild of America, the WGA, has authorized a strike vote amid labor negotiations. The last strike lasted 100 days. Listen to this.
Tonight, Hollywood could be one step closer to a crippling strike. The Writers Guild of America says its members will take part in a strike authorization vote amid labor negotiations. And this is video from a previous strike. The vote will take place online between April 11th through April 17th. If union members vote in favor, it gives the union the authority to call a strike once its current contract with the studios ends on May 1st. The vote does not automatically mean a strike will occur. The WGA is pushing for an increase in pay and residuals. And so far, officials with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represent studios, have not commented on today's development. The WGA, by the way, last went on strike in 2007 through 2008. It lasted 100 days.
Now, I don't know if you remember this, but these writers' strikes have happened in history, and kind of a double-edged sword to it, because a lot of really interesting things come of it when the writers can't write and the television has to continue. But nowadays, I mean, I assume they have so many things in the can already that it probably won't even affect anything. I don't know if.
Oh no. Well, 1 week. No. This is just like, this is the opening salvo for the Writers Guild. This is like, hey, we're gonna walk out for a week so you guys can remember how difficult it is to create a show when you have no scripts. So
yeah. And you know what? I don't know if they have a lot of power nowadays. You know how easy it is to get scabs and
I don't
things of that nature.
Here's the thing, but if you
don't have to cross the picket to work, you
don't have to cross an actual physical picket line. But if you work as a scab, once the strike is over, you will never ever work in Hollywood again. So do you want to risk that?
Okay, so how important is working in Hollywood nowadays, though? You can do anything.
Not that important.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of other options out there to create content. But do you remember like the last strike? What was the best thing that you think came out of the last Writers Guild strike?
How late night TV had to do it, and how
TV had to do it. Remind all of us what you mean.
Well, they didn't have any writers, so they had to just monologue a lot, do interviews, and they couldn't do any sketches that were written by anybody else, so they had to kind of improvise. And I think Letterman did the best.
Letterman was the best, I think, because he had the best stand-up material.
Yeah, it was so long ago, man. It was back when writers had power, before the internet.
Long ago? 2007 is not that long ago.
Yeah, but that was 100 days. That one hurt. That one really hurt. So you're talking about like late night. That was an issue. Reality television really bloomed during this time because it was easier to kind of like faux script some stuff and then like let people go do their thing. Which I hate. Like I despise reality television for the most part. Like I love cooking shows and stuff like that. I love human interest shows where, you were talking about like Huell Hauser travel shows, stuff like that. Love all that kind of stuff. But like Kardashians, the Real Housewives, that kind of like that stuff is trash. Well, it's just not for
absolutely us. Trash television.
They have figured out how to parlay television entertainment, and that is not anywhere near the Venn diagram that we live in.
Oh, no, I totally get it. The one thing that I liked from the last writer's strike, and I hate that it's Joss Whedon, but man, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog with Neil Patrick Harris and oh gosh,
I know nothing.
Why can't I forget? Why can't I remember his name now? It's Neil Patrick Harris and why? Oh, man, he's like my favorite actor, and now I'm just like I can't remember his name.
See, this is where you need a writer to help you.
See, I need a writer. You're right.
If you had a script in front of you, you'd have it.
I know, but you don't like us to script, so
you have to hire a writer.
Yeah. Oh, Nathan Fillion. Duh. Man, I'm so dumb sometimes. Nathan Fillion. He's on The Rookie now. He was on Firefly. Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. Really good stuff during the writer's strike. That's what they did. This writer's strike, it's a shot across the bow. It's like hey, do you want us to strike for 100 days again, or are you just going to look at this week that we're out and understand that you guys need us still? Because I don't think AI is going to be writing scripts like within the next year or so.
Ooh, there's an interesting concept. I don't know. They're getting pretty good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the billionaires don't pause it,
Yeah, I don't know.
Technology goes quick.
A lot of people say that we are in a new golden age of television.
These a lot of people.
I don't necessarily agree with that. But I think there's a lot of good television around, and I don't think that AI is going to be able to necessarily replicate some of that good stuff.
Right, I'm agree.
Oh, they'll be able to write Fast and Furious scripts using AI like crazy. We're gonna get Fast and Furious 125 in like 3 years. That's how many like AI scripts they're gonna be able to write that stuff, really good. But like a new Sherlock Holmes or like a good mystery like a Glass Onion or a Knives Out from Rian Johnson, I don't know about
There's already a Seinfeld AI on Twitch that runs.
Oh, it is creepy. Oh, no thanks.
It's getting better, man.
No thanks.
All right. Well, speaking of AI, more news. AI tech can plan your itinerary for a trip almost anywhere in the world. But how reliable is it? Let's find out.
Rome, breathtaking, enchanting, and at times overwhelming.
We need to figure out something. We have hungry kids.
With so much to see and do, how do you decide? Guidebooks, tours, or the latest option? AI. That's right. I'm going to let artificial intelligence plan my every move. Alongside someone who really knows these streets.
Claudio!
NBC's Rome correspondent, Claudio Lavanga. First up, an app called iPlan.ai, a user-friendly AI-based travel planner. Choose your interests, time frame, and budget, and it offers up a full itinerary.
Guess what the first location is?
The Colosseum.
It guides us to all of the top attractions, but there's a problem.
It goes through the night, like...
Yeah,
we're
4 in the morning,
5
from 4.
at the Spanish Steps at 4 a.m.
We set out for the first stop.
It's so big.
No surprise, it's packed, long lines, and a major hurdle.
No more tickets.
No more tickets.
Nope.
So we checked out another AI guide, usevacay.com's ChatGPT itinerary planner, hoping to be taken off the beaten path just in time for lunch.
Is that the line?
Yeah, that's at least an hour's wait, unless you're a local and a regular.
Thanks to Claudio, we had a table in 5 minutes. And AI's recommended dish?
Very good.
The last itinerary was the best yet, taking us through a charming neighborhood to a museum Claudio hadn't visited and a wine bar popular with locals.
AI has to rely on information that's published. It really doesn't always get updated that quickly online, especially in a place like Italy that is not super tech forward.
iPlan.ai and usevacay.com told NBC News they're working on more advanced versions, though our AI tour ended on a high note.
Maybe a glass of wine.
Maybe a glass of 1 or 2. Hello.
Our final AI stop, another winner, a historic restaurant in a quiet square.
Did AI work?
Hit and miss. It's a good starting point, but at the end of the day, when in Rome...
Do as the Romans do.
That's right. Cheers.
Cheers. Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, Rome.
Pass on that, Barry.
You're not going to try it out there?
No, I am too sophisticated of a traveler to use these tools.
I mean, I assume if you find yourself in an area and you've done no research and know nothing, maybe AI would help, but
I mean, possibly.
What kind of person doesn't do their homework if they're going to go to Rome?
So many. You have no idea. Like 99% of people, they just like book a flight and arrive and have done no research, don't have tickets to anything, just think that they're going to be able to like go and do whatever they want without like any other, like no other people in the entire world want to do the exact same things that they do. It's like most people. It's
maybe this AI thing is for them.
No, it's not, because you saw the problem. Like, if you're trying to do it, if you're trying to do anything in a popular city day and date, you are not going to get tickets for anything. You know, you got to plan that stuff. Like, especially if you're going to a foreign country, like foreigners coming to America, Americans going somewhere else, whatever, you got to plan stuff. You can't just show up and expect to be able to get into like the Louvre. You can't show up in Hawaii and expect to just be able to get into Hawaii.
You can't even like do that.
Bay.
You can't even.
You got to get tickets
at,
for these things.
You can't even do that at like the Griffith Observatory here in LA.
No, you can't. You need tickets for stuff, and a lot of these things, like the Coliseum, sells out like 3-4 months in advance.
Oh,
you got to like for trips like that, you got to plan things, and you got to do some research. I mean, maybe these AI will help people find things off the beaten path. That's probably what it's going to be the best thing. Like, you don't need an AI to tell you that the Colosseum is like one of the most widely recognized historic monuments in Italy or the world. You know, it's like coming to LA. You don't need an AI to tell you when you're coming to LA that you want to go to, you know, the Walk of Fame or Griffith Observatory or, you know, the Santa Monica Pier. You don't need an AI for that. Those are like, you see the Santa Monica Pier in literally every sporting event that happens in Los Angeles when you're watching on television. You know, but finding some of the stuff like off the beaten path restaurants or things like that, sure. I mean, that might be helpful. Or if you use these things and, you know, well in advance and you're planning stuff, you're using this to like, you know, figure out a good plan so you can like buy the tickets and figure out the time spacing. But these AIs, it didn't seem like they were taking into consideration tickets, lines, any kind of wait time at all. You know,
yeah, it's still like early tech.
I mean, sure.
I mean, it's going to be, you know, it's probably something to try out if you're on holiday and you have a day off. You'd be like, let me try this AI thing, see what happens. It's like
sure. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I don't travel like that. I don't have days off when I travel. Like when I like we're going to Linda and I are going to go back east and we're going to go to DC and we're going to go to New York.
Right? You ever had plans fall through in the middle of something that should have happened? And then
sure, I have backups to my backups.
Okay.
You know, this is how I travel. You know, I have found that if I plan things out, you know, and not down to the minute, you know, there's some room in there to like maneuver and get around lines or if something doesn't work out. And I'm not trying to pack everything into where it's like, you know, I'm going for 18, 20 hours in a day. But I have found that planning, making sure that you have all your tickets, all that stuff, it really reduces the stress during travel. And it does make things way more efficient and cheaper. It is cheaper to buy tickets to a museum beforehand than it is day and day. You know, you're going to save like $5 here, $2 there, and it might not seem like a lot, but you do that for 20 different things and you just saved $100 or $150. You know, that's like a dinner. So I don't know. This isn't for me. It might work for some people, but part of the fun of planning a trip is doing that research and finding those things so you can go check them out. AI is taking like half the fun away of travel
for you.
Exploration. Oh, I mean, I guess sure for me. I guess
there's something for everybody, and you know, I might try this if I find myself, because you know I'm not going to book solid a trip like to Vegas. Let's say to Vegas. You know, I'm gonna have a day here and there, maybe. And I might log in, but, you know, I'm probably going to log out and be like, nah, this ain't ready for me yet, you know, because there's a lot that people know already about their places that they go visit. This thing has to, like, not send you to, like, the most popular spots, you know? I had an idea, Joe, before we get out of here, a long time ago, before you could use a map in a car, and the idea was Rudman's Road Map, where you'd be driving and you'd be using a map on the phone, and at certain spots along the way, it would tell you what's there. a few miles before you get there, so you can decide whether you want to mosey on over there. But
there are actual road trip apps that do
there are
that.
now. I know.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like, I love that idea. I would love to be able to just like, I haven't taken a road trip since COVID, so it's been a little bit. But in that time, they did, some groups did make some really cool road trip maps, and you just throw it on, and while you're driving, and it does say, it's like, hey, in 5 miles up on your right, there's going to be a historical marker for this. You might want to pull off and take a picture.
Yeah. That I could see AI
kind of
working
stuff is cool.
for.
That kind of stuff is cool. One of these days, Barry, you and I are gonna like drive out. We're gonna take a trip to Vegas, but we're gonna go a weird way. We're gonna go through down the 40 and then across the Mojave. Have you ever done that?
No.
Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna take you out some like crazy places. There's like a World War II desert training memorial out there in Mojave. So we'll go see that. There's some like old abandoned mines and stuff, and we'll go see those things. It's cool, man. I'm gonna take you to some out of the way places.
All right, sounds good to me.
And we're not even gonna use AI. It's gonna be all Joe I.
Joe. All right. Well, set your clocks. We'll be back tomorrow for another show. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.